All right. Guy who starts the broadcasting off here on our great network here at JAKIB. Love listening to him. By the way, we know I love the fact that we have dubbed now WIP, WI Soros. So you have to be careful here. We now have our friend here who's worked at both places, by the way, and is the fan of Gabagool. And he is the king of Gabagool. Our dear friend, Marc Farzetta. How you doing, brother?
I'm honored to be inaugurated. What's the coronation? My coronation day of Gabagool. This is a big day. I should have called my dad. He would have been here. He would have been celebrating. This would have been amazing for a father.
I love Gabagool too. I'm a Gabagool guy, man. I don't know.
Yeah, when you're talking about the Gabagool, you're also talking about the mortadelle. You're also talking about like a nice sopressat. You're talking about a nice prosciutto, all that. Put them all together. I don't care. I'm a meat lover in that regard, my friend. I'll go that way. Let's go.
I'll tell you what, man. I got to tell you that when you showed me the prosciutto, there's nobody, we get the prosciutto. We get it a little bit, we get a little bit of times. We get a pound here or there.
Yeah.
This guy's got like 13 pounds of a piece of prosciutto. I mean, that sucker, when you showed it to me, man, it was like an asteroid. I was like, look at that thing, man.
It was a full leg, my friend. Full leg. My cousins and I were all getting together, and I figured, what better time? What better time to just go full leg, a nice prosciutto for everybody, right? I even got the knife to do the hey, yeah, right through. It was beautiful, man.
All right, I want to play a game with you here. Okay?
Yeah. If Alvin Kamara goes to the Cowboys, he then sucks. Yes, is that the game?
No, wait a minute. Now, what do you make of that? What do you make of Kamara potentially going to the Cowboys here with, the relationship of Kellen Moore and Stephen Jones and those guys, and maybe they're trying again. That they are in salary cap hell.
Uh-huh.
They still got $63 million. They still got to cut loose before they end up really getting into July here. So they've got still money to get out from under when it comes to that salary cap. But, I mean, that kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, if I can do my impression of somebody who's completely non-biased when talking about the Cowboys, it's smart on their part to get somebody who still has playmaking ability, obviously, and I agree with you, still a very versatile back in the NFL, no doubt. And it's also really smart of Kellen Moore to look around what he has in New Orleans and be like, yeah, this ain't it. Okay, what do we do for the future, the not-too-distant future? And you got to start selling off assets to bring in some other assets that you can build with. So, look, I absolutely get it for both sides. I believe it was 14 games Kamara played in last year, 13 or 14 games he played in last year. So I still think he can be a durable player and not somebody that's going to be injury prone, 29 years old right now. It's a good move. It's a good move for both sides. Sell, and this is going to make him sound older than he is, but sell an aging veteran and be able to bring back something to help you down the line. It's smart on both sides.
I see a tan on you here. You must be hanging out with Cooper Dejean over there at Wildwood. I mean, I got to tell you, brother, one of the most disturbing things I ever saw was Jason Kelce in a thong. I mean, dude, that is not a look I'm looking for. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of videos going around, and then there's Cooper Dejean there, man. He's just gunning beers, and I mean, I know he was in Iowa. And I know there's not like a lot of women there or something. I don't know what it is, but he's
civilization.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, you got corn, silos, and cow chips.
Have you been cow tipping, Sills? Have you ever been cow tipping? Oh, baby. Oh, that's a time. That's a time.
You know what? I've lived out in there. When they dropped me off, like in Illinois one time, off of like Interstate 80, where we lived for a bit, I looked around and I thought I went to Mars. I was like, where am I here, man? Are you kidding me? And so, like, no, are you concerned about all that stuff, though? I mean, he's enjoying himself.
Yeah, here's where I look at it. As long as he's all business when it's time for business, then I'm fine with it. This is another test. Look, I don't look at it with Cooper Dejean as a negative thing. I think he's a very young man who just had a lot of success. He came in, and when he took over the nickel spot for the Eagles defense, it really did transform things and made really turn things around. And he intercepted Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. Live it up, man. It's kind of like when a heavyweight champion gets dethroned and the guy that just took the belt from him just talks all that jive. They're like, yeah, enjoy it. Do your thing, man. This is your moment to shine. Just don't get knocked out the next time around, because what everybody's going to go to is, yeah, this guy's too busy about partying in the off season than he is about getting ready. Like, no, just as they say, and I know people roll their eyes, but as they say, keep the main thing the main thing. And so far through minicamp, through OTAs, there has not been a negative thing said about his game. In fact, adding to his responsibility. So if you go back to minicamp, you go back to the OTAs and all that stuff, and something was up with Cooper Dejean looks a little off. Something seems a little off. If even a little whisper of that was out there, and then all the partying surfaces and all that stuff, then people would be all in an uproar. But the fact that he partied in the offseason, showed up for OTA, showed up for minicamp, continues to party, and right there in the middle, you have Vic Fangio saying, yeah, he'll be nickel for us again. Yeah, we're going to have him on the outside. Yeah, we're going to have him at safety a little bit. And they're only finding more excuses to get this guy more snaps. Then I have no problem with it. I think it's a great thing. And hey, if I was him with that, with that athletic ability, with that, the gorgeous coif of hair, I'd be out there partying it up too, my friend.
I see. So it comes down to the hair. I got it.
Definitely.
I think that. If you're jealous of Cooper, there's only one thing. It's over the full lid he's got, right? It's over
absolutely.
the dome. I got it. You see, but I don't really think I think you're a fake bald guy. Okay. I don't really think you're a real bald guy. I think you're a phony bald guy. Am I wrong or right?
I got the full cul-de-sac, toilet seat, whatever you want to call it, man. It is. There's nothing going. For all the young guys watching right now that are deciding when to shave their heads and be like, I got to fight the good fight. I got to keep fighting the fight. No, let go. Just like Hugh Douglas told me years ago. Thank you. God bless you.
You're Italian. It's easy for us to say it, so it's all good.
If I wasn't able to get the bronze look in the summer times, my friend, then I might reconsider. But as Hugh Douglas used to tell Donovan McNabb, just let go, man. Just let go. Just let go. Fellas, it was very liberating. When I lost this little patch, boom, I was like, it's time. I don't have that little flap in front. You were a patch guy.
Oh, totally. This is you here.
I fought the good fight. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I fought the good fight, but then it was time to break out the razor, friend.
Gotcha, man. All right. I want to play a game with you here. So I'm actually going to take, this is from the Philly Voice. You probably know who these guys are. I really don't know who these folks are. But I actually fell in love with this article here. 10 reasons the Eagles will be a dumpster fire.
Jimmy. That's season. Jimmy.
Okay. Yeah, it's Jimmy.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. 10 reasons that the Eagles will be a dumpster fire this year. And they're pretty interesting takes. Now check it out here.
Yeah.
The Eagles put a lot of mileage on Barkley in 2024, including the playoffs. Barkley had an astounding 482 touches in 24. Now get this. Marc, check this out. That was the third highest number of touches in a single season since 2000. There have been 17 players that have had 430 or more touches in a single season. And if you go down this list, there's only 3 players that improved their yards per carry and their production since 2000. And I mean, 482 carries. It's the third most of any back since 2000. DeMarco Murray, 497 and 14. You know how that ended. Mm-hmm. And Eddie George had 488 in 2000, and then Barkley. Are you concerned about that, especially when you add that in his past, he had 3 years where he was injured in the last 5 years with the amount of carries? Again, I know this is a major focal point of conversation this offseason, but those numbers don't lie, man. I mean, now the caveat would be, I do believe he's got the best O-line since 2000.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah, I'll put it like this. Yeah. So this is probably the topic I bring up most on my show when the conversation comes up or the topic comes up about what does Kevin Patullo need to do that's different from Kellen Moore? What's the adjustment that needs to be made? And I bring up 482 all the time. Wow. I brought up that number so many times. 482, the amount of touches that Saquon Barkley had last year, including the playoffs. I don't care who you are. That's a hell of a lot. And there's a lot of people, historic, as you just pointed out there in the article, there are a lot of people that be like, they're not Derrick Henry touches. You know, it's not like he's getting hit behind the line of scrimmage and then get hit 5 more times and then he keeps going. Yeah, I don't care. That's a huge workload for everybody. So worried, concerned. Yeah, I would certainly, I'd inch that way, but I'll tell you what it definitely is. It's on my radar. It's on my radar to the point that my number one question for Kevin Patullo is, hey, are you going to lean a little bit heavier on the passing game? I'm not saying I need Jalen Hurts to throw 350 yards and Brown and Smitty, they have, 10 catches each every game and 5 to Dallas Goedert. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying squeeze it into the game plan a little bit more. This needs to be a run-first team. When you have Saquon Barkley healthy, you have this offensive line. I don't want them to all of a sudden shift and become a pass-happy team. Don't want that. But I'm saying, can I get, and I've even said this to you, can I get not bottom of the barrel in terms of pass attempts? Can I get, what I have asked for is a middle of the road passing game. That's all I'm asking for. Just don't be last. Be middle of the road. And some of this falls on Jalen Hurts' shoulders, because if we're going to give him credit, as I have many times, and other guys are going to credit him for checking down to the run and noticing what the defense is doing and breaking that down and saying, all right, this one has to go to Saquon, then Jalen needs to take a little bit more responsibility for himself and realize, damn, this guy's just coming off that kind of season, historic. I really want him at that same level by the time the postseason rolls around. Maybe I don't check to him in this situation. Maybe I throw in this situation. Maybe I go, instead of to the best play here is this run, but the second best one is this passing play. I'm going to go with the passing play. That's what I want from Jalen. That's what I want from Kevin Patullo. Lean a little bit more on the passing game, because those numbers are historic for a running back. And I just want Saquon Barkley to be healthy and as fresh as possible by the time the postseason rolls around.
I'll tell you this, too. You bring up a great point here, and I'll ask you this. With all these coordinators that he's had, when does it get to a point where Jalen Hurts gets to the line of scrimmage and doesn't have to look over, and you have to have any concerns who the coordinator is, like whether it's Eric Bieniemy or whomever? Now, look, there's an advantage because Andy is really the play caller. We all know that. I get it. But, I mean, if you're going to have all this turnover, when does it get to a point where Jalen Hurts is making the calls himself? I mean, last year he just learned how to set protections.
Yeah.
I mean, we're here now. I mean, the guy's an MVP. Personally, I can't believe he's had the amount of success with the amount of coordinator changes that the guy has had. And we would all agree, every year he's been a quarterback, every year the system has been different. Throw it a lot more in 23. Throw it less in 24. He was multitasking in 22. He was learning in 21. Where are we now? What version are we going to get of him this year?
I feel like the big question going into last year was Jason Kelce. And Jason Kelce does a lot for Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts without Jason Kelce, what's he going to do? Well, a lot of the protections, a lot of those pre-snap breakdowns of what the defense was doing did not come from the center, Cam Jurgens. It was all about Jalen Hurts taking that next step forward in his career with the mental aspect of the game. Everyone talks about how much he hits the books, student of the game and all that, but how much is he going to step up with the mental aspect of the game without Jason Kelce there in front of him? Well, he passed that with flying colors last year. The next step is saying, all right, I at one point, with these offensive weapons, including Jalen Hurts himself, including Saquon Barkley, guess what? Kevin Patullo probably ain't going to be here that much longer anyway. Or either, I should say. So sooner or later, it's got to come down to Jalen Hurts just being a kingmaker of his offensive coordinators. And if he can take that step forward, and I know it's going to be more of the revolving door at the OC spot, and I also think part of the reason Kevin Patullo was elevated to the role was because he has a little bit of staying power, maybe 2 years as the offensive coordinator here in Philly. Jalen Hurts needs to take that step forward like he did last year without Jason Kelce. He moved to Cam Jurgens. He passed it with flying colors. Now he has to take that step forward with yet another offensive play caller and put it all on him. It was 1 year with Kellen Moore. It's probably going to be 1 or 2 at the most with Kevin Patullo, but he has to become the smartest guy in the room when it comes to diagnosing what's in front of him, what plays the right one, and no matter who the play caller is, he's got to decide what's the best possible play to run against the defense at the very last second, and that's where the checkdowns come in. Dallas Goedert last year, if you remember, raved about him after that Saints game, checking down for that 63, 67-yard pass that they were able to do on that rub route across the middle. That was great.
Yep.
A lot of the Dallas Goedert more than anybody, Saquon Barkley as well, raved about Jalen Hurts' ability to be able to change the play at the line of scrimmage, recognizing what the defense is doing. Keep the progression that way, and the offensive coordinator will become less and less important to Jalen Hurts, especially with the turnover at that spot for the Eagles.
Absolutely, man. I mean, here, what you're saying then is this. Kevin Patullo, if they win, he's gone. If they lose, he's gone. I mean, that's been the trend, right? I mean, so Hurts has to would you agree? Next year, there's a high probability there'll be another coordinator.
Yes, I agree. I wholeheartedly agree with that. But if they have, God forbid, another 2023 end of the season, Kevin Patullo is going to be back. Because again, he's got more of that staying power.
Even if it's a meltdown like that.
If it's a meltdown like that, I think Kevin Patullo still stays. If it's, I mean, look, the optics of it obviously matter. I think they're going to want to give him another year. I think he's going to have a grace period with Nick Sirianni, as his head coach. So, and it's going to be more sway than I think Doug Peterson had at the time, considering, Nick Sirianni has been to the playoffs every year. Nick Sirianni has been to 2 Super Bowls. He's won 2 conferences and a Super Bowl, obviously. So I think he's going to have a little bit more of a leash. I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm just saying that's the way I think the Eagles are going to read it. I think he's going to have a little bit of a grace period here. I don't think he'll be a one-and-done offensive coordinator in terms of the negative aspect of it. Might be that in the positive aspect of it if he ends up having another Super Bowl-type season for this Eagles team, and then he'll get hired as an OC or a head coach, somewhere else.
Couple more for you here. I didn't realize this, Farzy, but here's another question here. Jalen Carter, counting the postseason, had 1,027 reps. Only Zach Allen of the Broncos had more. I get it. He's 22, 23 years old, all that. But with the amount of minuses of players that have been exited off the team, am I going to sit here and believe you're going to see less double teams with guys who have not started or guys who have not played? I mean, 1,000. After that, the third guy is Kobe Turner from the Rams with 900. I mean, are they really putting a lot? Now, look, you're going to pay the guy 35, 37 million. And I get the fountain of youth is great. No doubt about it. But still, boy, are you putting a lot on his plate as well. I mean, that means this. You take that dude off the field, God forbid, your defense is imploded.
Yeah. This is where the improvement of Jordan Davis comes in, the hopeful improvement of Jordan Davis. This is where Ty Robinson comes in. This is where the development of Moro Ojomo comes in. But when you break it all down, Jalen Carter still has to talk about improvement. He's got to do it. And last year was a shining example of that when you're talking about conditioning being a topic for him and Jordan Davis. Well, Jalen Carter, certainly over the last year under Vic Fangio, has really matured as a player. And Vic Fangio, the littlest thing he'll pick on with Jalen Carter.
He does.
Yeah, I mean, look, hey, you far exceed my experience in playing sports, my friend. And I think you know this, but it's true at every single level, from peewee to high school to college to the pros. When the coach stops talking to you, that's when you have a problem. That's when you should, I should pack the bag, get the Greyhound ticket, and I'm out. But when
the comment that he made at the press conference, why did it take Jordan Davis until week 13 to get in shape? And he goes, well, I'm going to pass on that. I mean, if my coach ever said that, that's a rip for me being a fat body. Yeah. I mean, I've got to be in shape, man. I mean, I thought that was really an awful shot at the kid. I mean, I'm very disappointed in him. I think he's got to take – you think he takes the game serious enough?
Jordan Day, no.
I don't either.
If you're a professional athlete and you're not staying in the shape you need to be in to perform at the highest level, then you're not taking it seriously. I'll tell you this, you're not taking it seriously enough. That's for damn sure. Especially if you see a guy that's playing next to you in Jalen Carter take it super serious. And that's what I'm getting to with Vic Fangio and Jalen Carter. Vic Fangio is the guy that was breaking stones of Jalen Carter for not saying good morning to him. So, like,
Right.
imagine if he sets up wrong. Imagine if he doesn't break through a double team the right way. Imagine if there's an opportunity lost, how much Vic Fangio is chewing him out for that. So, I think Jalen Carter has taken to it phenomenally. And on top of it, you talk about finding that motivation. He knows how to push the buttons of Jalen Carter. And when he's asked about the workload, I mean, we talk about it a lot, as we just did with Saquon Barkley. Well, on the other side of the football, it's a little bit different because he's so much younger, but it's the same type of thing. Vic Fangio was asked about Jalen Carter staying out there on the football field for as many snaps as he did and as often as he does. Can he handle it? Can he keep up that workload? And he alluded to what you just mentioned, the fountain of youth. He said, yeah, he's a young pup. He's a young pup. He's a young pup, Sills. He can handle it. So, yeah, I'm thrilled to see the progression that you saw last year from him. And then you hear guys like Jeremiah Trotter talking about how Jalen Carter doesn't even know the position yet. And he's just going out there with raw talent. Like, imagine when he learns what the hell. I mean, hey, look, that's the eye of somebody who is an NFL veteran and Jeremiah Trotter Sr. I'm talking about.
Yep.
Talking about what he's bringing to the table. And it is dominant what you have seen from him. And I don't know if you saw this or not, but CBS Sports came out with the top 25 under 25, and Jalen Carter was something like 12th,
13th.
He was 13th. Yeah. All right. Go use it as fuel there, young bull. Go out there and do your thing. Because I think that's a bit of a slight.
I get Stingley and I get the uncertain. Those guys are first team all pro.
Yeah.
I mean, but I was like, how's that guy not in the top 5? I mean,
yeah, right.
I mean, he like you said, what's crazy about him is, you're right. I mean, this guy's killing people without technique. Can you imagine this league? Here's the biggest thing you can always tell a kid coming out of, I mean, Farzy, when you're a player that gets drafted in the NFL, I don't care who you are, myself included, I was never blocked in college. When you get to the NFL, you're always blocked. I mean, these guys are so freaking good because they're as strong as you, they're as big as you, and they're more wiser than you, and they got better technique than you, and they're blocking you. I'm playing against guys like Don Mosbar and Mike Munchak, and you're like, these guys are slipping and scooping. They're 590-pound benchers. They're like, holy shit, these guys are the best people on the planet. That kid's killing guys like that. When he understands how to play with leverage better, Trotter Sr. wasn't ripping him.
No.
It wasn't
a compliment. It was a compliment.
It was a compliment. I mean, yeah. I want to throw this last one at you here. So you tell me how this sounds. And I added this up here. Let me get this number here for you. All right. So Milton Williams, 629 in snaps. Josh Sweat, 775 in snaps. Darius Slay, 900 snaps. Gardner Johnson, I'm stunned, 1,119 snaps a year ago. Brandon Graham, 311. Oren Burks, 322. Isaiah Rodgers, 412. These guys here all were part of the number one defense in the NFL, not just a top Super Bowl defense, the number one defense that won a Super Bowl. That comes out to 4,200 reps with guys. Do you really tell me you think that Milton Williams, Maro Ajomo is going to play 700 snaps and be as effective? Or here, this one, you're telling me you think Jalix Hunt is going to play 775 snaps when he's never started a down in the NFL, and Keely Ringo is going to play 900 snaps at corner? Andrew Makuba, who was in Austin, or Sidney Brown is going to play 1,100 snaps? I mean, dude, are we asking a little too much of this? Because that's a lot, Farzy, to sit there and tell me guys who have never started and guys who never really had any playing time are going to cover those snaps with the effectiveness of a number one defense. You tell me if I'm overcooking it.
No, not at all. I mean, if you had a bucket of question marks, Sills, right, and you're looking at the Eagles roster and you're looking at the offensive side and the defensive side, you might throw one at the right guard spot of the Philadelphia Eagles, right? But you're like, even with that, that's Jeff Stoutland. Now I'll keep that in the bucket. And then you turn your attention over to the defense and you go, oh, damn, question mark. You're just throwing them all over the place. They're sticking there like magnets, right? You're asking Jihad Campbell, You're asking Jalix Hunt. You're asking Drew Makuba. You're asking Ty Robinson, Moro Ajomo, as you mentioned. Yeah, hey, fellas, step on in. Don't have us miss a beat. I read something recently. It was on Fox Sports, and it had a word to describe each offseason for the NFL, each team for the NFL. And I thought the word for the Philadelphia Eagles was extremely optimistic. And quite frankly, it's what I'm rooting for. I'm not ready to bet on it just yet, even with Vic Fangio, but it's what I'm rooting for. The word they used to describe the Philadelphia Eagles was reloaded. Reloaded. Now, reloading is great because it's the same gun, it's the same weapon. You just put another one in and it fires as it should. But I got questions about what's in the artillery here when it comes to what is going to be thrown at the opponents coming up in this.
Yeah, but Margie, isn't that code for rebuilding?
So I'll put it. I even broke that down as well. I was like, if you talk about a rebuilding team, then you're talking about, hey, we're going to suck. And there you go. When you talk about retooling, that's kind of the next step up more towards positive. Reloading means this is the same machine that's going to operate the same way with just a few different pieces. That's what that means to me. I got to see it to believe it. I got all the confidence in the world in Vic Fangio. That's fine. But you mean to tell me you're going to hit, like all these guys are going to take over for that productive of a defense and there's not going to be a problem? Like for me, in order for the Eagles to really not miss a beat, there's two things that I really look at. Number one, Jahad Campbell doesn't replace necessarily just a Nakobe Dean or a Josh Sweat. He replaces Hassan Reddick. That's what he replaces. Ty Robinson replaces Milton Williams. Like, these are the things that you're betting on. Drew Makuba replaces a guy who you know what happens when he's in your defense. You go to the Super Bowl and CJGJ. So that's a tall order. Darius Slay, for problems and breakdowns in coverage, getting caught looking in the backfield, was still a very good cornerback and saved a lot, it looked like, for his postseason performance. And now you're going to be asking Keely Ringo to take that big step forward, which he hasn't done yet. You're also going to be looking at Cooper Dejean to potentially play on the outside in base coverage or safety. Like, you're asking a lot more of the younger guys and also a lot of your rookie class to step up and fill the voids left behind by the guys that have exited through this offseason. And some guys are kicked out.
Absolutely. Don't you agree that you could see this look like with this team this year, especially with all the things that you just mentioned? The team in the first, 10 games or 8 games could look like a 9-win team. But at the end of the year, it could look like a 13-win team, and yet you land on 11 wins. But you've gotten better. I mean, to sit there and assume that you're just going to, after you took a blowtorch to the NFL's number 1 defense, to sit there and assume it's going to be top 5 is awful. I mean, it is awful optimistic, in my opinion. So
I agree.
Me, I would like to see, hey, like the Chiefs a couple years ago when they beat the Chiefs or when they beat the 49ers in the Super Bowl. They didn't look very good at the beginning of the year. But by the end of the year, they looked like a 14-win team. They only won 11. They won as many games in 23 as the Eagles did. But they looked like a 13-win team. Could we see something like that?
I absolutely do, and it's part of the reason why I loved the bye week in Week 5 last year, because you had look. Vic Fangio was coming in. I've said it many times. You're not going to have the cover band of the Vic Fangio defense. You're going to have the original act, the actual Vic Fangio taking over.
Right.
And if things were trending in the wrong direction, which at 2-2, it's certainly not the right direction. But if things were rearing their ugly heads from the previous year, Jalen Hurts' turnovers, yes, that was absolutely a thing. Levante David, I think it was Jair Alexander against the Packers in the end zone in Brazil. Yeah, turnovers were still a problem. Defense still didn't look good. Missed tackles still didn't look good. And that early bye week was that reset. All right, everyone, not only are we going to add Cooper Dejean, not only is he going to be ready to go coming out, but schematically, our tackling is going to be better. A younger guy like Nolan Smith is going to take a big step forward, which he did after that bye week. So that's why I love the early bye. The Eagles don't have the benefit of that. Now, what they do have is at least the luxury of a lot of these guys already playing 1 year under Vic Fangio. Even the guys that, a lot of guys are gone, obviously, but a lot of guys are still here. They really know what to expect of Vic Fangio. And these players are all talking to each other. I don't think Vic Fangio is going to catch any rookie off guard by any means. Yeah, it is a concern. I could absolutely see it as a rough start to the season where they're flirting with 500, and then all of a sudden they really turn it on late in the year.
I got to sneak this in on you here, okay? I wrote these 5 teams down, not name the Eagles. Take the Eagles out of this. I wrote down Ravens, Bills, Rams, Lions, Commanders. Yes, the Chiefs are missing. I think the Chiefs, I don't know about you, but when I see that offense, I don't see, outside you take Mahomes off that offense, I don't really see. Hard to take him off the offense, but still, I just don't see a lot of weapons there. And I see a lot of holes in that old line. They got rid of the kid. He sent him up to Chicago. I don't know, man. I mean, I think they're going to take a step back. I think the Ravens adding Alexander, as you said, they got the best secondary in football now, probably, at least on paper. But I've got Ravens, Bills, Rams, Lions, Commanders. Anybody else you would sneak in there?
I think that pretty much nails it. Lions are interesting to me because I don't have a lot of respect for Jared Goff. So losing his center, I want to see how that works out.
Ragnow's huge. And they lost the right guard.
Yeah. So you find a way to speed up that clock for Jared Goff, and it could be turnover time in Detroit. So
especially with they got 2 new coordinators too, both OC and DC. So
yeah,
that's why I said, I don't know. I got them further down. They have a great roster, bud. And the Bills play in the sorriest division next to the NFC South in football, the AFC.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to win pretty much almost all their games this year. And the Ravens, I mean, no more excuses for the Ravens, right? I mean,
none.
It's time for them. Like, the Super Bowl should be Ravens and Eagles, in your opinion.
Yeah, I think that would be a great Super Bowl. I'll admit that would be awesome. The Commanders, my question with the Commanders is, as great as Jaden Daniels was last year, it's all about the do it again. When you took everybody by storm, you got some bounces certainly go your way. You earned every inch of a blowout in the divisional round of the playoffs, and then you earned every inch in the negative aspect of it with a blowout by the Eagles in the NFC Championship game. So it's all about him going out there doing it again. What are you going to do now that teams really know how to scheme against you? Can he remain at the top? That's good, because that's what everything's hinging on. They loaded up in this offseason. Forget about reloading. They just loaded up in this offseason. Can he stay on that same level that he was at last year? With quarterbacks, it's either hit or miss. If he has back-to-back hits, good for him. But I wouldn't be shocked if the league adjusts to him, he has difficulty adjusting back, and then he levels things out to have a good NFL career. I'm not saying that it was an anomaly. I'm just saying one more year of adjusting to what the league adjusted to him for.
I'll tell you what, I also would like to see Bills and Eagles. Can you imagine those two fan bases?
I would love it.
How about those two fan bases, man? Going at it Super Bowl week. Bills Mafia and Eagle Nation going after it. Holy cow, would that you would have to, that would be WWE stuff right there, man, where you would have people coming off the top rope. All right, Farzi, what do you got planned for 4th of July next week? What's the Farzetta family do? It's a big deal for me. I love, Italians love fireworks. I know, shiny things. I'm all good. I love fireworks. So you tell me.
You're going to love this. My cousin Ray just built a bocce court in his backyard.
No way. Oh, my God.
So, and my daughter and his daughter are close. So I'm going to go over there for a little bit. I got my wife's family, or as I like to refer to them, Medigons. They're coming over, and we're going to have a little party at the house. But I'm going to go over to my cousin's first, have a little get together, roll a ball or two. You know what I mean? Throw the Polina. I'm going to toss the Polina.
Absolutely, man. As my good friend Tony Bruno would say, bocce du bocce. Hey. Hey, Tony used to have like bocce ball tournaments out in San Francisco all the time. Yeah,
oh, wow.
I mean, oh my God. Hey, did you hear they're bringing the wing bowl back?
Is that Vegas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at Farzetta. He goes like this. No.
Dude.
Spectrum and
don't
wing.
Waste my time.
No.
Don't waste my time. All right, don't waste my time. I bet you they're going to be weighing the wings to see how much chicken they ate. That's Bush
God.
League. You
That
get your
was
judges.
so Philly.
You get your judges, okay, that are each easily tipping 350, okay? Tipping a scale at 350, and you count that. You count them wings one by one. Weighing the wings, probably how they're going to do it. You know, it ain't wing ball. And here's the thing. The logo, if that's the logo they're using, that's Bush League, because that's just a ripoff of the event I helped throw for 13 years. Thank you very much.
Farzy, that is great. I bet I went to 2 of them at the Spectrum.
Yeah.
I mean, it was carnage. And I go, this is the greatest freaking thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
Between the dancers, I was going to say strippers, but I don't know if there was any difference. I'm going to say between that and the food and the fun that you guys put on, bro, that thing was one of the greatest. I talk about that with people that don't know what the wing bowl. I go, have you ever seen the wing? It's the greatest promotion in the history. And I saw that that logo, and I went, I got it. Farzetta goes, Vegas? No.
Please.
That's not the wing bowl.
Stop it. I'll say to my 2 favorite things ever said about Wing Bowl. One was a college writer, a college kid went to Wing Bowl and described it as, the quote was along the lines of, in a society that is growing ever closer to political correctness, Wing Bowl serves as the giant middle finger to that movement. And I just went, beautiful, chef's kiss. And then the second thing is, anytime I heard a wing, like I had to recruit the wingettes, you know, the girls that would actually serve the wings.
Yes.
So a lot of them, yes, were strippers. And then a lot of them were also like, another half of them were like girls next door that just wanted to do something crazy and wild one time in their life. And this was it. And, the phrase that always made me laugh really hard is, yeah, I'm going to do it, but I'm going to bring class to the wing ball. And I'd be like,
well, then you're not hired.
Yeah, good. No, I would say good luck. Good luck. Hey, good for you. Good for you. You'll be the pioneer of class to wing ball. But yeah, those are my favorite times of year.
I'm keeping you too long here, but I gotta give you one last one. So I used to be the judge, or one of the judges for the Raiderettes.
Oh, okay.
And you know the chick that's on Fox, Emily Capallo?
Oh, yeah.
They're really good looking. Yeah. I didn't realize that we had picked her because she was a Raiderette. And I'm watching her. She brings it up, and I'm like, holy cow. Yep. She was in it. I was like, yeah. So it's always good to see you have a Fox analyst talking about tariffs. And I'm sitting here going like this. Well, I'm glad that I elevated the conversation on Fox by picking a Raiderette who's now talking tariffs.
She owes her whole career to you. That's what she doesn't even realize yet.
Farzy, have a great 4th of July, and thank you so much for all your time, man. I really appreciate it.
Same to you and yours, my friend, and to all your listeners and viewers. I'll see you soon.
You got it. Great Marc Farzetta. We appreciate him always. Make sure you check his show out, too. Very good stuff, Marc Farzetta, man. He starts out our broadcast right here on JAKIB Sports. We thank him very much. All right, don't forget our great friends at Morgan & Morgan. Folks, these guys have been with us now, for over 25 years. I mean, my radio career and my JAKIB career, my streaming career, which I love right now, we have Morgan & Morgan with us. Why not? I've known John for over 25 years. It's the #1 injury law firm in America for a reason. Why? Because they win. That's right. Thousands of attorneys from coast to coast defending families to make sure they get the proper return when it comes to lawsuits. Like, insurance companies will try to underbite you all the time. I told you about the family in Pennsylvania here, where, again, they were initially offered $650K. They ended up getting nearly $25 million in settlement. Family down in Florida was initially offered $300,000. They ended up coming back with $12 million. If you're ever injured, go to forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. That's FOR, thepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. And do me a favor. You tell them Big Sales sent you.